Okay. Welcome to another episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. I'm Phenie, and my wonderful co-host is...
Poh from Canada this time around. So it's nice to be where it's nice and warm. As opposed to being all rugged up. So happy to be in my warm location.
Oh, okay. So now you're saying it's what? It's winter. It's winter in Australia now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not devastatingly cold. I mean, we don't get snow or anything, but still cold enough.
All right. Today's episode is on what would you be willing to do to live a passionate life? What would you be willing to do? Well, for myself, what would I be willing to do? Well, I'm here. That's part of what I'm willing to do. What are you willing to do, Poh, to live a passionate life?
Where do you even want to start with that topic? I think the proof is in the pudding. I think in the past I was quite a reserved person, quite shy, and yeah, not quite the type that would go out of the comfort zone. But look, when you've got a dream, I definitely had a dream and I still have the dream of wanting to create my own fashion business. And frankly, you're willing to do a lot. Personally, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to live with regrets. And I know if I don't go after my dreams and give it my absolute full force, I'm going to regret it. So that is one element of it. And, well, 2012, I quit my job and went in pursuit of the dream. And frankly, it's been a very challenging road. And by challenging, I mean it's forced me to grow as a person and to confront a lot of challenging aspects about my personality that would otherwise be swept under the carpet if I wasn't doing something meaningful with my life, because you can pretty much get away with being mediocre if you're just living a mediocre life. But if you declare you're going after the dream, well, you got to meet it head on with being that person that's aligned to the dream, right? Yeah, that's my bit. So how are you, Phenie?
Okay. All right. First of all, this is a question that would come about. It came about was there got to be more to life. There has to be more to life. That is the question. I was haunted by that. And when I started to answer that question, because deep down inside, I believe everybody knows, is there more to life? There got to be more. Come on now. Is this it? We just get up, we go through the day doing things in a mindless, zombie-like state, and that's the end of that. You get up, you work, you sleep. Yes, you spend time with your family and your friends, but a lot of us are not spending a lot of time with our family and friends because we're just caught up in life. So now the question that I was haunted by was there has to be more to life. And I believe firmly when you ask that question, there's like an inner knowing that says, no, there's more, there's more, there's more. When I asked myself that question, I then ventured out to say, okay, there's more to life. The question is, what is it specifically? And that I define it. So you just make a decision. Now, what was I willing to do? I was willing to leave a relationship. I was willing to relocate. I was willing to cut back on my lifestyle. And when I say cut back on my lifestyle, I needed to, the things that were tying up my time. Now, mind you, my time still gets tied up in other ways, and I have to basically take a time in inventory and sift out the things that are just, I'm just doing busy stuff. So now I'm incorporating more time towards things that I'm more passionate about. Okay, so I did say about leaving the relationship. I did say relocating and time. Yes, I had to start searching more for, well, what I was willing to do was search for more things in the direction of the things that I was passionate about. So I started reading up on certain things that I had interests in, and I'm here. I'm here. I've always had the dream. I like to talk about beauty more from the inside out. Aesthetically is fine, but more of the internal approach to it. So I started consuming more things and spending time just brainstorming about a passionate life, or a life on my terms. So that's what I was willing to do. That's what we're doing now. And then I met Poh, and then, like we said before, we live parallel lives on opposite ends of the globe, but now she's on my end. She's on my end. That's what I was willing to do. Now, the question is, we say, what are we willing to do out of life? You really, really have to sit down and figure out what you're willing to do. A lot of us, it's the survival mode. For me, when I said I had to lessen my lifestyle, you basically have to, is it lessen? Is lessen a good word? I don't think so. I had to sort and sift through my life and weed out the things that were draining me. Is there anything you had to weed out of your life, Poh, that you were willing to let go?
Basically everything. When you say lessen your lifestyle, I think it's a complete overhaul. It's a complete destruction of the life that once was before. And let's just be honest here, it is. Because once I made the decision to really go after the dream and let go of that old life, which entails letting go of that old job, that also snowballed into letting go of other things that didn't align with the dream. And look, to be honest with you, it's not like I had a list here of all the things that I should let go. It was more, okay, the universe is like, you're serious? We'll go through the list step by step of what you should be getting rid of. And I think some of the things I had to let go was the comfort and security of having all this predictable income. And quite frankly, when I was in my old world and old job and all that sort of stuff, I had it good. The paychecks were lovely. I was quite highly paid. But what good is that if you're not happy with what you're doing? You're not feeling fulfilled. And so part of that was even having less money, so a complete breakdown financially, having breakdown in relationships, friendships, so starting fresh there. Also, I think the biggest thing is starting fresh and examining who you are, who you really are, because your whole identity was so wrapped up in being, like for me, this corporate learning and development worker for 10 years and being rather reserved and being a certain way, not much of a risk taker, to being something else, which is more of who I am. And how can you really realize that until you start breaking down the lies? And boy, yes, that can be a painful process, but it's also quite exhilarating to know that, yeah, you're alive. You're being more of who you genuinely are rather than who other people tell you who you are. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So I'm curious about you, Phenie. Let's say, how about letting go of what others thought? That's usually quite a big thing. That's usually when you go after your dreams. How about letting go of what people think?
Ooh, that is the biggest one. Letting go of what people think. And it's so funny because a lot of times what people think is partly what you think, even though you're saying it's through the eyes of the other person. But you know the environment in which you are in. I really believe that. Sometimes a lot of times it is what other people think, but it's through the lens of what you think objectively put off on somebody else of what they think. And 9 times out of 10, yes, they think those things. If these are the people that you're hanging with and running with, you all had similar, very strong mindset. Just as you were saying, Poh, in a sense that it's a complete breakdown, it's a complete overhaul. It is a whole lifestyle kind of demolition, we can say, because so much of your life is basically turned inside out. Okay, so what were we willing to do? Okay, things you were saying before about what other people think. A lot of us, I'm going to just talk about myself because it's just easier to talk about myself. I am not doing what everybody else does. My mindset has changed it's just so drastically different from what it was before I started this journey, and even the online journey. My choice of books have changed, whether I will sit in front of the TV and I like to say into a stupor. That has changed. Me watching the news into a stupor, that also has changed. My time, I spend my time doing more things that are in a positive light towards the dream. But then as I was moving further along the path, I started to realize that you can get caught up in busy work, and it's in the direction of the passionate living, a passionate life. And then again, you have to sift through those things and clear it out. So basically you have stages of things that you will have to weed out of your life, that you have to let go. Income goes down because, you're saying I'm building an business on entrepreneurial. Well, entrepreneur is business. You're building a business online. And so the mindset that you had before, even just like for brick and mortar or traditional businesses, you have to let that go because you got to learn more now. It's a different learning curve. You have people standing there watching you. Why don't you get back to the regular life that you had before? It's easy. You won't struggle as much. You won't toil as much. But what I've come to realize is that I had to let go of the standard way of thinking of how you get into business. Well, this is just go on forever. This conversation just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just so many levels. So now you're doing your thing, your friends are watching you, and they're like, I wouldn't want to struggle like you. But there are certain freedoms that come once you keep going and you're persistent and consistent. There are certain freedoms that you afford yourself in going down this path. And the struggles and the challenges that you come across, they season you for the rewards in the end. So, what other people think. I don't hang out as much as I used to. Certain things that was fun in the past are strictly annoying to me now. I annoy my friends now, my older friends, because, we're just not on the same page on certain things. The things that were amusing, just it's not amusing anymore. I started to get a blinders on approach. People who know me personally, when I'm on a project and I'm really working hard on it, when I have my horse's blinders on, that's it. You can't stray me away from that. So you feel bad at first. It's like, okay, I love you, I like you, I want to keep you in my life, but can I just have my space to do what I need to do because I'm giving you your space? Some people will not, they just won't understand. And you have to get strong enough, tough enough, courageous enough to say, you know what, this is my truth and I have to live it. The number one demons that you will ever have to fight and confront is not really what other people think about you. It's what you think about you in response to what other people think about you. So you basically have to face yourself. You have to let go of feeling inadequate. You have to let go of, hey, I'm scared, and do it anyway. You're going to have to let go of making a fool out of yourself. You're going to have to let go of people seeing you on the path and you're making mistakes. Even you're embarrassed, but you have to keep going. You have to let go of that other lifestyle because you know in your heart of hearts that what you're doing right now is right for you. And it's funny because you could feel that way internally, but on the surface you can feel a little fraudulent. You can feel a little different because that's that old conditioning that you're dealing with. So, did I answer that or did I go over?
Who knows with you, Phenie? Who knows with you?
Well, you know, I'm like, oh, I just it just comes out.
Or we can have the War and Peace version. I think we got the War and Peace version.
But I think I answered the question, wasn't it? So what do I think about other people think about me? Listen, if I didn't answer it, I think I did. But if I didn't answer it, let me answer it succinctly now. You just got to do you. You just got to do you. Because at the end of the day, the highest betrayal is betrayal of self. And you just have to do you. If you feel called to do something, you got to do it. Simple as that. If you don't, you will be miserable for the rest of your life, or miserable until you do it. So what's better, to inconvenience you or inconvenience other people? And you have to find your path. So then you won't feel as bad. Yeah?
But you know what? I think it seems as though certain people would prefer you to not do certain things. But the irony is, I feel as though they definitely respect you less when you don't live in a way that's being true to yourself. That's the kicker. They think they like you the old way, but then if you keep being a doormat and keep acquiescing and keep not doing things because of them, they end up resenting you anyway. So it's just much better for you to just always be consistently true to yourself. And I know that's not easy, and I know for a lot of people, I've been there, you've been there, what other people think can sting, especially if they're people that are very important in your life. But who has to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day? You have to look at yourself in the mirror every day, not them. And you know what? The people that truly matter and care about you, they will support you. That's what I found anyway. And the ones that don't, and the ones that don't really get it, I feel as though they naturally eventually fall away. Or there may be more distance if they're your family.
Yeah, it does sting when it's someone close to you. But, I have a but. You got to do you. I do not like the feeling of being inconvenienced. That feeling within me has grown tremendously. I used to be a people pleaser to the T. And I always thought, hey, if I give and give and give and give, I will get it back, in the sense of, you reap what you sow. Do I still believe in that? No, I don't believe in it in that sense. It's you have to give to yourself also. You cannot give to yourself. You cannot give to others or give till you are depleted. I believe you give to yourself. If you're truthful with yourself, you'll be a happier person. If you do the things that you're passionate about, if you engage in the things that make you come alive, that makes you a more complete, happy person. And then I believe that when you are so filled with the things that you are doing that is true to your heart, true to your nature, true to you, you in turn are so filled up with this energy that is an overflow. It spills over and you do not become depleted. You know, we're women. We were raised to give till you just basically just wiped out clean. And then we sit around and we're like, oh, okay, well, somebody's going to come and rescue me. They're going to help me. They're going to do the same things that I've done to others. And a lot of times, sometimes you're giving from a place of not really wanting to give, but it is your duty. That's not good. None of that stuff is good. So in not feeling inconvenienced, because my line is always, it's either someone else is going to be inconvenienced or you're going to be inconvenienced. I believe in serving. I believe in helping others strongly. But I always believe it should come from a place where you are just brimming over with such positive energy. Now, inconvenience in self. When you don't do the things that make you happy and bring you joy, you are inconveniencing yourself. You are doing things at the expense of self. How is that a passionate life? It's not a passionate life. It's a setup. And then it affects your health. It affects your mood. It affects your behavior. And what do you think you're sending out to others or spreading to others? A lot of us walk around as zombies. A lot of us live a mundane life, a life of mediocrity. Why? Because we're not being true to self. Every one of us came here with something to do passionately. Well, yes, passionately. Everyone came here drawn to certain things, and it is our duty to explore it. What are your thoughts on that, Poh?
Yes, 100% agree. I'm not one of those believers that we're just here randomly and there's no meaning. I believe, some of us believe in God, creator, universe, whatever your belief system is. I definitely feel each of us have a distinct, unique purpose to deliver to the world, and that's our biggest gift, to be able to have the courage to step up and fulfill that inner purpose no matter what the rest of the world may be saying. It's listening to that inner voice and going after it. And yeah, it's definitely not easy when you've collected so much baggage and you continue to collect a lot of baggage in your life, but you know what? It's one baggage drop at a time to get towards being more and more of who you are. It is literally one baggage drop at a time. And you know what? Being somebody that's been on that path for few years now, probably a few years, maybe even more than that. Wow, it's a wild ride. Life certainly is never dull. I find myself randomly in different countries. One day I'm in Costa Rica, the next day I'm in Malaysia, the next day I'm in Canada, and you know what? It's not because I've won the lottery. You can cross that off, and it's certainly not because I've got rich parents. It's simply because I knew this travel lifestyle was very much a part of me, and somehow, some way, the way has always been presented to me because I had a strong conviction and intention, and it just keeps happening. So you know what? Let's not talk about our circumstances being a reason not to be true to who we are. What we are right now is enough. And what we are right now is going to take us wherever we want to go. So, yeah, that's what I think, Phenie.
I agree with you 100%. I believe That feeling that you have, you just have to follow. And yes, opportunities will present themselves or itself. It will. I met this one lady. She wanted to get this book together. I met her randomly. I was at the Produce Junction, and she just tapped me on the shoulder, and she just said to me, "Oh, can I use you in a project?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And I was with her as she was getting all this stuff together, and she said that at first she didn't have the money, and she said she just had a dream, but she just started working towards her dream, and she couldn't believe in the space of like a year she had gotten all these people to help her in her project. She people just came out the woodwork to help her. And I was sitting there and I was marveling at her story, because I was like, look at that. It's like mysteriously these hands come out of nowhere and they just help you and just scoot you along to where you need to go. There's so many things in life that we look at from a practical level and we say, no, we can't do that, or that's not possible. But the thing that I always remind myself is that, let's take like Poh, you and I. I could have never predicted in a million years that I would meet you and we'd have parallel lives. Never in a million years. Now imagine if I didn't take this path and follow my gut and my heart to do the things that I had to do in order to meet you. So we cannot predict anything. The only thing that's really consistent is that feeling inside, and to just follow it. You have to follow it. And I believe a way is always made. Now, mind you, you might look silly doing it. People will think you are crazy. People will think that you have really lost it. People may think, why would you choose such a hard existence? Why don't you choose a secure existence? But none of that stuff is security. It's not. Because at the end of the day, or at the end, when it's time for you to transition, like you said earlier, regrets. You don't care about, all you care about is how many beautiful memories you've collected over your lifetime. That's all that matters. And what you left behind. Life is deep, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Who are you telling?
Very deep.
Yes, I agree with what you said. It's like a one in a, is it even a million, maybe even a billion chance that you and I would meet and actually have a lot in common and have led quite a parallel life. I mean, look at you, look at me. That other people are watching, look at us, and it's like, most people would think we would have zero in common, but it goes to show human spirit, human endeavor, human everything goes beyond this
Yes.
show.
Yes. And it's I mean, the thing that gets me is that I believe we were destined to meet up, but we would only be destined to meet up if we followed our guts. When I look back, it's like that was the only way we were going to get here. So what does that mean? It means that we all just have to follow our gut. Our relationships, our business, whatever it is that we're dreaming of, only our gut can get us there. And that's straight through our passions. We have to follow our passions, our positive passions, mind you, but passions nonetheless. All right, so this is another episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh, and we've come to the very end. You can find me, Phenie, at snatchingmydreamsback.com and
becomingpolin.com.
All right, so we see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Bye.